Tonight, what remains of the rally and march at Wright Park is this small group of protesters in front of the Pierce County building who've gathered here to rally. Today, there was lots of speaking and marching, no broken windows. But tonight, the head of Tacoma's Urban League told us even protests that have not been fully peaceful have a message that will not be undermined. Chanting his name, hundreds of people gathered in Tacoma's Wright Park to protest the killing of George Floyd. Protests in Tacoma have been markedly calmer than those in Seattle and elsewhere, where frustrations over racism and police brutality boiled over.
I understand the anger and the rage.
Tawana Nobles, president of the Tacoma Urban League, says it's a righteous rage, the language of the unheard, as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once said.
We've heard the voice of George himself saying, "I can't breathe. I want my mom." His voice was unheard. Our voices on the sideline, civilly, unheard. So I think what the community is saying is when we do the workshops, when we do the webinars, when we offer the trainings, it goes unheard. So what do? Our community is raging. And I deeply understand the sentiments of community members and share them.
But Noble says broken windows do not undermine a message that African Americans in this country have been trying to send for 400 years.
The Black agenda is the same. Black lives matter. Stop killing us. We are done dying. We've gone unheard. Enough is enough.
A message amplified today as marchers in Tacoma took to the streets. Protesters said they don't want to see more destruction, but
to tell you the truth, I'm tired. I'm tired of the same issues. I'm tired of the lack of respect.
They also empathize with those who've reached a tipping point.
Everyone's been trying to be peaceful for decades, and obviously not much has changed. And so if this is what has to happen every single day in every city, then that's what's going to have to happen until someone is heard.
We've gone long enough unheard. We are speaking up. And it's not with more workshops and meetings and classes. We're only taking action.
So this protest continuing tonight with sit-ins like this one and what they call die-ins throughout town. A number of these protesters lying down in front of places and sometimes in front of traffic to send their message out to anyone who sees them. This was all actually organized by a high schooler. Her parents told me she wanted to do something about what was going on, and they encouraged her to organize this. In Tacoma, Kristen Ayers, King 5 News.